Hey, welcome to another episode of the Inquisitive Mind of Louis Tee. I am your host, Louis Tee. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. IMoLT Podcast. Usually we do like a deep dive with a panel on a subject, but this is going to be like a spotlight. So instead of doing a deep dive on just one subject with a panel of people, we're going to actually do a deep dive and spotlight on a person. So today we have DirtyWhite or the Dirty F White or the
F-White,
Dirty fucking White.
Yeah, Dirty fucking White, baby.
Dirty fucking White.
Yeah.
An artist, here. So how you doing today, Dirty?
Good, man. Blessed to be here, man. Blessed to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Having a good time.
Dirty has a album coming out that he's anxious to talk about, but that is not what we're going to be talking about. So what and how are you
talk
doing?
about anything but the album. I don't want to talk about the album. Just it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But as long as we talk about other stuff, I'm cool. But no, I've been doing straight, man. I've been focused. I've been trying not to pay too much attention to the periphery, if that makes any sense. Trying to keep my tunnel vision. Okay. As I go along and I start learning new stuff about music and new stuff about the industry, and I feel like it's kind of changing who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it changes all of us. It has a tendency to make you callous, to make you not really care. You know what I'm saying? And like I want to keep holding on to that passion. You know what I mean?
So. I would agree with that because I dibbled and dabbled in parts of the industry, and I feel like I'm very callous. I really don't. For the most part, I really don't enjoy talking to rappers. Originally, I would have never would have thought I would be interviewing DirtyWhite, especially flashback probably 5 years or whatever years ago when you're dapping me up saying, "What's up, Big B?"
Facebook did it too, though. Facebook did it too.
So
I felt a little bit better. I felt really bad up until that point, but then you posted that. I gotta say thank you for posting that, because then I felt a little bit better. Like I felt a cool breeze come over me. I was just like, oh, thank God.
Facebook. I on my live, I thought it was saying Big B wants to be in the live.
Right.
But they were saying
trying to tell Big B was in the live. Yeah.
I didn't even realize that light didn't click on until yesterday. So I will give you that.
Hey, look.
But besides that, I was like, man, who is this Jafakin white dude, tattoos, dreads? Mm-hmm. One, a rapper. I'm Louis. In my mind, I'm Louis Tee in Wilmington. I felt like, and it happened several times. So I flashed back. I would have never thought that we would be here, and getting to know you more. I would say for me, the first thing, I would say Haji had really big up when you came up in conversation, and just talked about you as just like a artist, someone who composes their own music and just artistry. So I mean, kind of speak on that. How I guess you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, because one, I didn't, I would assume you did reggae, terrible reggae that I would, I wouldn't want to hear. Yeah. Tattoos,
shallow,
all that,
shallow reggae with no meaning. I know.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying, well, first of all, the thing I want to say from the start of that was that I feel like this is a toast to maturity. First of all, because I understand, you know what I mean, why people see certain things when they see them. You know what I'm saying? In me, like I understand, like not necessarily at the beginning. You know what I mean? I dare say, there's a lot of drunken nights, a lot of eager drunken nights in clubs, trying to network with people to be as friendly as possible and make people understand that I'm here for for their benefit, and I'm here to help everybody. Because it's really like I don't have any desire to be on a top 50. You know what I'm saying? I just want my music there.
You don't want to be number 3? Take Joe Budden's spot?
Look, you let Joe have it. I don't want beef with Joe, because he's the type, he'll pick a rock up. You remember that one clip in Chicago where they was fucking with him in the car? He picked a rock up. He was about to bash on. Now I don't want no smoke with Joe. Joe's dope. Joe's one of my favorites. But I just have to say in general, yeah, you're right about judging a book by its cover, because there's a lot of people that I've met that I've gone through similar growth with, and I think that that's a statement to who we both are as people, but who all artists can be as people, because music unifies everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, music brings everybody together, and I feel like if I wasn't a musician and didn't take music as seriously, I mean, no offense to any rappers, but I know a lot of rappers. I know of a lot of rappers that they do the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? And they stay litty, and they write the most simplest verses they can think about. They're not passionate about their art. I feel like if I was one of those people, I wouldn't be here with you right now. You know what I'm saying? It takes you to be able to see a layer deeper and understand that my dynamic is something that I truly take seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not out here bullshitting, whether it's rapping, whether it's R&B, whether it's production, my acoustic stuff that I do, regardless. I mean, I love every bit of it. And I appreciate the fact that you were able to see past that. Or my Jamaican man,
You can check him out on the beach.
I don't practice Santeria. Don't get me started, man.
Yeah, definitely. Like, because one, as a whole, music is just it's so easy to be a rapper now. And you know, I'm a few years older, so I remember doing mixtapes, and I had to go to a studio and get people, and I spent money. You know, shout out to Doc Bless Music, and that, you know, but you know, I just like me investing in doing this podcast, which you don't have to necessarily do this. You can do it from the muscle,
right?
But
right.
you know, just for a little bit more, you have a little bit more. Like, I had to go invest money to do a product where I did back then. You didn't have now we recorded on ADATs. It was like VCR tapes, you know, and then it went to DATs. I don't know. I don't think most of my stuff was on ADATs, but you didn't have a lot of luxuries. You couldn't layer your vocals. Everything was like,
it had to be one take. You had to get it. Yeah.
You know, you had to have an engineer and all that stuff, is a dollar sign. So if you wasn't really about that life, you wouldn't do it. Whereas now, Kurt, you know, flashback where when I met you, you could have just been some dude that went to UNCW and just like
had access to a studio.
Yeah. Well, no, you could have recorded in your house.
Whatever. Right.
Like, you know, so like, and
the saturation of the market is.
Yeah, and I mean here, especially in the places where I would meet you, those kind of people would be the people that, you know, that I, you know, like I said, unfortunately, I am very jaded just because I've done live hip hop shows for so long. And most of y'all are douchebags. You know what I mean? Like, you know, very like unappreciative.
Yeah.
You know, very
feeling like you're a rock star already, and nobody knows who you are.
Well, there's a lot of that, and then you know.
Well, it doesn't stop. I mean, you know that just as well as me, but it don't stop. The higher, you know what I'm saying, you keep on moving up the ranks, there's always going to be people like that. There's always going to be people that are just on their own dick for no reason. And this is the thing, and I'm not going to act like an unhealthy amount of ego, you know what I'm saying, it's dangerous, but it's helpful sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I've got a whole project called Bravery My Bravado that literally takes Kanye's idea of believing in yourself for no reason. That's what ego is. You know, it's fake. It's pumped up. It's not based in anything real. And then bravery is, you know, actually real shit. It's being terrified, but you saddle up and you ride out anyways. You know what I mean? Because that's what bravery is. You go and you do it. And I feel like the connection between those two things, a lot of people skip stages. You know what I mean? I feel like that's how a lot of rappers become super egotistical and conceited and full of themselves right to start with, because they skip all them stages and they just start feeling like the shit. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I ain't hating on your persona if that's what you do and that's what it is. But my point being is, I don't have to tell you that it's a different type of individual. It's a different type of vibe that you get somebody like that versus somebody like me, who I do have a healthy ego. I'm not going to sit here in front like I don't. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Some days I think I'm the shit.
Yeah.
But the point being is, I'm always going to bring that good energy. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to catch me on no foul energy for no reason at all. Like, I'm not just coming in on some fuck shit. Like, I dare say that's one of the most important things to be a beginner. Like you said, 5 years ago, whenever it was that we first started meeting, that energy was there. I just didn't know, you know what I mean? I wasn't sure what I was shooting at to make any sense. You know what I mean? I wasn't sure what my target was.
Yeah.
Now that it makes more sense, I've come along and I've learned how to network better. I've learned how to connect to individuals better and get my point across in a less abrasive per se way, I guess. But I think it's honestly great. I'm happy as hell to be here, and the fact that this is happening, that's progress for me. I mean,
So with all that progress, then tell me then why still out? So why still? I mean, and we just had a whole episode of about not conforming. But just to have it out. What I said, why still, you just, for your birthday, you just got the grill. Why be a white rapper with a grill and dreads?
The grill, that shout outs to Scotty ATL. I love the support. Honestly, I'm not even the person who would ever thought I would have had gold in my mouth. As a matter of fact, when I first met Breeze, I used to make fun of him because he had a grill. You know what I mean? Because not because of what grills are, but because of who he was. You know what I mean? Yeah. He'd take him out, go in the booth to rap. You know what I'm saying? Come back out and put him back in and stuff like that. And I just thought that was hilarious. But as time went along, I think it's dope. I'm to the point in my life where, you know what I'm saying, I like a little bit of shiny once in a while. And also it was a chance to link up with my man Scotty in Atlanta. You know what I mean? That's his business. That's part of his livelihood that he put together. You know what I mean? His blood, sweat, and tears have gone into that business. So when I send him money to slug me up, that's just not me getting slugged up for the fuck of it. That's me making sure that I put my money where I want it to go.
Networking.
Yeah, well, I mean, I fucks with Scotty. You know what I mean? So like when he said I got a business, I put some gold on your teeth. I'm like, put some on there, then. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I felt about it. That's kind of a separate issue. The dreads, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have had mixed feelings about that, and honestly, I respect every single one of them because I don't expect to get a free pass for anything. You know what I'm saying? This is nowadays, like we understand 2019, we living in. Everybody's on different shit. Yeah. And everybody that's on their shit, somebody across the way is yelling at them because they on this shit. You know what I'm saying? And they yelling at somebody else because they on their shit. And that's neither here nor there in my situation. I love my dreads. Yeah. That's why I don't cut them off. They hot as hell sometimes, dog. I'll be sweating my nuts off. But I love them. I wouldn't trade them for nothing, bro. I've been growing these things for like Thanksgiving be 4 years. Shout out Miss Laura. You know what I'm saying? That she twists me up every time I go in there. She gets me looking right, and it's taken time and effort and love and money and patience. You know what I'm saying, to put all into them, and I just love them. You know what I'm saying? So I would hope that any people that say, "Oh, you should cut your shit off. You don't deserve that," I would hope that hearing that and understanding how much work went into it would sort of give some people an idea of why I love them so much. You know what I'm saying? Why I can't just cut them off. Well, I've got to the point where I just don't feel like they're benefiting me. Yeah. They benefit me. It's like Samson. It's like, you know what I'm saying, for lack of a better reference, like I feel my power. Like that's where, you know what I'm saying, like that's what I love. So I can't.
Yeah, and we made the Jafakin jokes earlier, but you actually said the original inspiration for the dreads was actually Lil Wayne, right?
Yes. Huge Wayne head. Still am to this day. I actually got the chance to see Wayne live last year in October at A3C. There was actually a stampede. I don't know if you heard about all that shit.
Yeah, Jay Sales actually called me by mistake because he was trying to call the rapper Louis. Because it was after that whole thing.
Were they both down there?
Yeah, Jay Sales was down there.
Yeah. Okay, so you know about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I was front and center. Like I was right dead in the middle of the action, and I'm focused on Wayne. Wayne's on stage center. I mean, going crazy. This is the first time like I said, I'm a Wayne head from 11, 12 years old. I've been obsessed with Wayne, and that's the first time I've ever seen him in my life. You know, say 25 years old.
Look at my dress, Wayne.
Man, I'm like, look, this is you, dog. This is all you, man. But all I saw was just like a wave come flying from the right side, just out of my periphery. I just look and I see this wave of people, and your instinct is turn around and run.
And it wasn't actually shooting, was it?
No. The official report is what it was a taser. It was a taser with a red dot sight on it, and some scary little sketchy motherfucker yelled, "Shooter!" You know, when that happens, everybody just goes crazy because they saw that red dot. Now, we in Atlanta.
Yeah.
If you see a red dot waving around, what the fuck you gonna do?
Yeah.
So I can't be mad at him. The point being is I look on to my right, and all I see is just this wave of bodies just falling like dominoes. And human instincts to turn and just jet to the left. Yeah. But you hit a wall. We're like sardines in there, bro. There's nowhere to go. So we all fell down. So it was like a 2.5 minute long. It's hard to tell because of the adrenaline, but it was about 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes 45 probably that I laid there tangled. Like it was like a 2,000 person game of Twister. Like by the time the crowd finally separated, the girl that was right in front of me, legs snapped. Like when she fell down, crack, she started screaming, and I felt the weight of the crowd go and like fall down because her leg broke across mine. So then the weight of the crowd that broke her leg was now on my leg. There was an old man in front of me. I say old. He was probably like mid-60s or so. He wasn't super, super old, but he was crying.
Kind of old for a Wayne concert.
To be in the middle, right. Well, my point being was, he was laying down, like literally praying out loud and crying, "Heavenly Father, please don't let me die like this." You know what I mean? Because there was a big rock-built dude in front of him that was laying on his chest. There's nowhere to go. So I'm bracing against the floor, trying to get old boy off, and it was a mess. The whole point of that story is to speak on Wayne. Wayne was my original inspiration to get dressed, period. When I first started, you know what I'm saying, listening to him and like absorbing that sound, that power that he had in his rhymes, you know what I'm saying? Like it made me feel some type of way. And he said, "Steer long hair, don't care like a Navajo," you know, and I was just like, one day I'm going to do it. One day I'm going to do it. One day I'm going to do it. Circumstances never allowed me. I was never in a place where I was financially able to do it or logistically able to do it. You know what I mean? So when the time finally presented itself, I just had to take advantage. That was really all it was. I linked up with Miss Lyra, and I was like, yeah, get me right. She's been working on me ever since. But yeah, shout out to Wayne, man. I'm a big Wayne head. I got Misunderstood. He's got it here beside his eye, but I got it on my arm. I got No Love, the song that him and Eminem did back in the day. That's on the elbow. Hip Hop Addict. That's a line from his song La 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 off the Carter 2. La 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 la. I know you. La la la.
I'm not a Wayne head.
Point being was I got Wayne tattooed all over me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so what do you feel about the Wayne verse on Maybach Music on the new Rick Ross?
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard it yet. I've been on this promo tour. I haven't heard a lot of new music. The only reason I mentioned the Drake was because my boy literally played it in the car for me earlier on the way to the studio. Okay. I haven't. I got a bit of music I got to sit down on. Yeah. I also heard that he had a verse on. It was a pop singer. What was the girl's name? He just did a song with her. I think it was like 3 months ago, and I've only heard it a couple times. Anyhow, yeah. But Wayne is in a place where like being signed the way that he's signed. You know what I mean? And like. He's in an awkward place with his releases. Like that man's really just making money off tours. He's just literally hitting every stage he can play. He's on tour with Blink-182, I think, right now.
Yeah, which he almost.
It's an odd combination. Yeah, well, he was feeling. I feel like he was feeling the pressure with that. You know, he said a tweets and he was like, "Yeah, I can't do this." You know, walked off stage and everything.
I think it's back
on.
Yeah, I think he was performing under crowds less than what he was before because it's really a Blink. It's a. And
Blink featuring Wayne, not Wayne featuring Blink.
Or not dual build,
right? Right.
Which is kind of sad. Because,
well, and I mean, no disrespect toward anybody over there that can't, but I mean, look at the climate that we're in. You know what I mean? Like Wayne is not the hottest.
Which because he's been so, and we're gonna talk more about you than Wayne, but yeah, like he hasn't been in. He dropped that one album finally.
Carter 5.
Yeah.
I felt like it wasn't really as cohesive as it could have been. It was a lot of different production. It was kind of all over the place, but it was really
a different time period.
A lot of solid tracks.
So, I thought it was for what it was. I mean, like I said, I'm not a Wayne fan, but I listened to it, and that's some tracks I really deal with. So would you say he inspired you musically as well, or?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you got the tattoos, but your actual music.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you say is inspired by Wayne?
Definitely, a lot of it. Yeah. My music has evolved over the years. One of the first things that I valued about Wayne extremely was his lyricism. Mm-hmm. I felt like in a game full of, you know what I mean, in a game full of like more simplistic. I feel like when Wayne was coming out, he gave birth to the whole kind of mumbly auto-tune, you know what I'm saying, vibe. But Wayne he was a pioneer, so I feel like his sound was the most unique version of that. But I just loved his different, like the variety of his beats and stuff. Like albums like the Carter 3, when they came out, immediately grabbed me just because of songs like Mrs. Officer, you know what I mean? And songs like Tie My Hands with Robin Thicke. I mean, I know you remember I don't know, there were just some really, the first song that I fell in love with from Wayne was Georgia Bush, if that tells you anything. So it was a powerful song about, activism and.
So I guess, like I said, you're younger, so you're not Hot Boy Wayne, you're like solo artist
Definitely,
Wayne.
Yeah.
Where you
I did I went back and, looked a little because I had to know, you know what I mean, and understand what the context was. But, when I started listening to Wayne, it was Pop Bottles. It was like Father Like Son. The Father Like Son had just ended and was, merging into solo Wayne. So with the Carters 1, 2, and 3, I mean, I literally remember being 17 years old, living on my own, paying all my bills, didn't even own a TV, didn't even have enough money to own a TV. And I would come home and turn on my radio and put my Carter 2 CD in. And that was my evening. I didn't have no entertainment. I lived by myself. I was 17, working, paying all my own bills. There wasn't shit for me to do in the crib but listen to this damn CD. And I knew successfully at that time every single word of that damn Carter 2 CD. I mean, from front to back, and the dedication I feel like that I put into listening to him. Like
I was thinking the dedication mixtapes, but
well, he does. Well, those are fire too. I mean, all of his mixtapes, and of course, you got a whole crowd of people that arguably, get into the fact that mixtape Wayne is better than album Wayne to begin with, which I dare say I agree with in certain circumstances. I mean, like No Ceilings, the original No Ceilings mixtape, greatest mixtape of all time, in my opinion. I mean, just completely coming out of a mid 2010s era of incredible beats. He had beats by Kanye, he had beats by Jay's beats, which probably were Kanye beats anyways, but a series of incredible lyricism, man, that really stuck me with hip hop as a way that I could write poetry. And you have to understand the relevance, the significance of me at that age. I didn't have a whole lot of cultural context as a 12-year-old coming from a sheltered, a Christian home where I came from.
Yeah.
I started listening to Wayne. It didn't occur to me that I would ever have somebody ask me, why are you a white rapper? Like, why do you even do this? You know what I mean? Like, at that point, all I heard was, this man's spazzing. And to me, I was writing poetry already from the age of 6 or 7. I've been writing, poetry on pages.
Yeah.
Never occurred to me until I heard hip hop that poetry and music could coexist in the same thing.
Yeah.
And that completely, like, I lost my mind at that rate. I mean, I'm a hip hop addict ever since. Like,
so yeah, let's go back to that. We're talking, like you growing up. It was a very structured life, very not just in the church, but like
everyday
the extreme. I don't even know how you would say it. What's the other word for extreme? Like for especially when you're talking about something like that, but just Yeah,
there's a ton of different words to describe it, man. Really.
But so like I'm sure hip hop wasn't allowed in that your house.
No.
Like,
as a matter of fact,
secular music. You can't listen to any kind.
That was the thing. Yeah. Not Wayne. I mean, anybody that wasn't singing about Jesus Christ was not going to be heard. And as a matter of fact, there was a good number of people that were singing about Jesus Christ that couldn't be allowed in our house either, because there was percussion, electrified instruments. Contemporary Christian has been a thing for years.
Yeah.
Real live bands come together with real live instruments, drums, keyboards, bass, and make praise music. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My version of that, Christianity and music and the way that it interacts in our lives, was so extreme that I wasn't even allowed to listen to Christian bands that were using percussion and electrified instruments in their music, because it wasn't praising the Lord. That's just the doctrine that was, my parents were taught, my parents before them. I mean, I come from, it's a church called Seventh-day Adventist. It's a denomination. There's actually the one on 29th and Market right there across from Motel 6 used to be. There's a little brick church right there. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
That's where I grew up. That's where I went to church every Saturday.
Well, I mean, nobody knows this, but yeah, my grandparents were Seventh-day Adventists. We went to, I think, 10th and Castle Street.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Ephesus.
Ephesus, right beside Booties, right across the street from Booties.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think we talked about that too, because that's where I used to take my EOGs. Yeah, I met one of my best friends, a guy named Jeremy. I used to hang out with for years, man. We met at Ephesus. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, for those that don't know, Seventh-day Adventists, which he had a more extreme.
Well,
Seventh-day Adventist, he had a more extreme version of what I'm saying. But Seventh-day Adventists don't eat pork, don't eat shellfish. So a lot of religions like that.
No unclean.
But it's on Friday evening, you start your Sabbath. Saturday morning, you go to church. So no Saturday morning cartoons, which most of y'all looking at this don't know what a Saturday morning cartoon is. But for children, that was at a certain age, that was a thing. And then you still pretty much, you couldn't work, couldn't do anything that wasn't,
Christ related.
Yeah, religious or whatever, until sundown
on
Saturday evening. So, so you went to church on Saturday, couldn't, and I didn't really even know about the Friday night stuff because it was my grandparents. So, I didn't know why we had TV wasn't on, which you didn't even have a TV.
Right.
TV wasn't on unless it was something like gospel-y or whatever. So that itself is a little bit different than, you got bits and pieces of certain things because, Jewish people, Muslims, they don't eat pork, but, a lot of people don't do the whole Saturday thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like you should, because really it is the seventh day. But that's a whole other discussion.
Well, and the irony therein, and we really can't get into this because we'll be here all night, but the irony therein is that a lot of stuff that Adventists believe is really on the money, according to the actual text of the document of the Bible. You know what I mean? There are a lot of variances amongst Protestantism, like variances on what the Bible actually says and interpretations. I feel like Adventism, all rights aside, are fairly accurate as far as doctrine. I feel like they're pretty close. But this is the thing, is theology, religion and spirituality. Yeah. That's all you have to say in that situation. So in my upcoming, we had Adventism that inspired our version of the doctrine. But what my parents chose to do with our family was a step farther than anyone else expected. I mean,
more
we were
extreme.
oddities at our church. Not oddities. We got along. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you were the
everybody was
more
loving and whatever.
that group that.
Oh yeah, well there were just
niche,
certain people. Yeah, a very
niche.
very specific niche exactly. Yeah. And so it was even amongst our church. I remember as kids, there was I just remember hearing tinkerings of conversation now and then. The little memories that you have as a kid, remembering how the glances. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're still Adventists, everybody's still wondering why don't y'all have a TV? Like, why don't y'all eat meat? You know what I mean? Like, that's for years when I grew up, all the potlucks, our church functions and everything were all meat free. And as time has gone along, I think the Adventism as a whole has accepted new attitudes toward meat in general. Not unclean meat, but Adventists eat chicken and stuff now. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big deal. Back in when I came up, we didn't even have stuff like a bag of chips, like potato chips to open in the house or anything like that. If you wanted something to eat, you went out and picked it. Like, we ate 50-60% of our diet from out of a field. You know what I mean? So I'm a country boy to the fullest. I do all this music shit and I love it all the way. But where I come from, like I don't see that type of stuff now. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they stay a lot of people. I know people that have stayed relatively close to home as they've grown up and they've maintained a similar set of circumstances. Me, what I'm used to seeing versus what I see now, it's two totally different worlds. You know what I mean? And it took a while to be able to use that properly to fuel my inspiration and to fuel
So how did growing up? But that did still lead you kind of to music, because didn't you play piano with the church?
Yes. I think the main person I have to blame for music is my mom, because she was in a choir the entire time that I was in vitro, and so I have melodies and harmonies and music just is hardwired here. You know what I mean? Like, I had it in here even before I knew what to call it, even before I'd ever taken my first music theory class or taken my first piano lesson, to be able to put words and titles to things that I already knew existed and couldn't explain. You know what I mean? So like, I could hear something playing on the radio. I mean, 6 or 7 was the earliest that my mother noted that I was touching keys on the piano, playing different stuff, and as it went along, during the ages of like 10, 11, my mom was like, we got to get the boys piano lessons, you know what I mean? And she convinced my brothers to get in the car with her, and we would all go, and we'd go to piano lesson, every once a week. And then my dad found out that she was paying piano lessons out of, her allowance money or money that she was getting from him. Inevitably, my dad was, through proxy, was paying for my piano lessons, and he flew into an outrage. That was not a priority list on his priorities right then, you know what I'm saying? And so he made her stop. He's like, if he wants piano lessons, he can pay for them his damn self. He's got a job, which, and the crazy part was, at 11, I already did. I had a job. I was working almost 40 hours a week, paying rent for my own bedroom. In the house where I lived at. Yeah, the minute I got a job, my dad's like, where's my rent money at? Yeah, it was serious, man. We didn't wear brands, like, at all. Everything was plain t-shirts, plain pants, plain shorts, no Nike checks, no polos, no nothing, because that's advertising for a heathen company, you know what I mean? We're not going to represent ourselves this way, and so we dressed a certain way, and we did all this, and I'm the oldest. So I say all this in retrospect. My parents know where we stand. We're cool. I call my parents and we talk, you know what I'm saying? Which is crazy, because for the first time in my life, there's some acceptance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a really big step. But going back, like, all I wanted to do was leave.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I wanted to do was leave. And I feel like, ironically, the decisions that I made back then in my immaturity probably set me back in this whole music thing, to be honest with you, because if I had been able to rationalize things and understand why things were happening instead of acting on my emotions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all do that from time to time, but I feel like I'd be farther along now than I probably am if I would have taken, a good 10 years between then and now to really get my act together, versus now I'm actually, you see me, I'm taking things a lot more seriously than, I guess, my priorities have changed a lot.
Yeah, definitely say you're on the grind. So speaking of that, like, how do you classify yourself as a rapper?
Not just a rapper. I feel like rapper is kind of exclusive. If I say I'm a rapper, first of all, I make myself easy target for labeling. If I walk up and I say, hey, I'm a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Then anybody that looks at me like, oh, this fucking guy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure, you're a rapper. What do you rap about? You know what I mean? And at that rate, here goes I have to explain myself now. You know what I mean? Well, I rap about this, you know what I mean? Or whatever. That requires further explanation if I walk up and I say I'm a rapper. You know what I mean? That just all kinds of opening questions. I'm an artist. I do everything. There's no way to, like, put a title on that.
And we're gonna get into your music soon, because that's a good segue. But I look at it 2 ways, because I feel like, and not you, but like say someone like Post Malone, who says they're not a rapper, but they're like exploiting hip hop culture. You know, I would me personally, I would almost say I'm a hip hop artist. If it's in hip hop, because hip hop is a banner. Rap is specific. You know, I mean, rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live. If you're tattooed,
okay, say that
that's
again.
KRS-One.
Dang.
That's not me. That's KRS-One. But you know, your tattoos are hip hop. So you know, because people who look like you, not exactly like you, come in and they exploit the culture, and they use it until it don't benefit them anymore.
And that's what defines them as exploiting.
Yeah.
Is the fact that they do it until it no longer benefits them.
Yeah.
The only difference that I can see between a person who exploits hip hop and a person who lives hip hop is you have to keep on living hip hop even when it's not convenient, even when it's annoying.
Well, yeah, it's not a choice. It's something you do. Like you said, it's what you live.
I'm addicted.
You can't get rid of those. I mean, I guess you can cover your tattoos up.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean, but that's the point being is like saying I'm an artist. You know, I'm on this run right now. I'm on this show right now.
Yeah.
Promoting an R&B album.
Is that what you consider as R&B? I mean, people that hear it can listen to mine. Especially looking at you and knowing you as a rapper, I was shocked looking at some of your IG clips of you singing. Mm-hmm. And even on Alex's show, Hunt for Greatness, you sung a little bit on that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, okay, you know, because by the time I saw it, I had talked to you and you told me that this album is not a hip hop album. You know, like there's some you got
rap verses on it.
Yeah, but not from you.
I have one rap verse on the entire thing. Yeah. I rap once, one verse.
So what motivated you to do as a rapper or as a hip hop artist? What motivated you to do a non-hip hop album? And this seemed like to be your biggest promo to push it as hard as you're pushing it.
Yeah, I think the effort of pushing the album and the fact that it's R&B is a coincidence. I think that my effort is always going to be to promote my music regardless of what medium I'm offering. That being said, this R&B album, strictly speaking, is by popular demand, really. Mm-hmm. And that I think is one of the few things that separates me from somebody who would exploit or who could be considered a culture vulture or whatever, is that I've been rapping since I was 13. Mm-hmm. 13 years old when I wrote my first rap bars. After I heard Wayne, I went right home and wrote a bar. And I didn't know shit about writing. You know what I'm saying? I had a bunch of homies around me that were fully indulged in hip-hop at my same age who were giving me tidbits like, bro, you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool. That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? You should change this bar and put it over here. I mean, not teaching me to rap per se, but there were people who encouraged me like, bro, your bars would be doper. You know what I'm saying? If you did this or follow this format, teach me how to bar my bars out when I'm writing. You know what I'm saying? So I keep track of where my syllables are, stuff like that. I've been rapping since I was 13. Aggressively so, not necessarily promote myself to the public because, like I said, I never really thought that I had a future in it. You know what I'm saying? Coming from where I come from, we're pre-programmed to give up.
Yeah.
Coming from where I come from, you're not gonna do shit. You know what I mean? If you don't get out of Delco, if you don't get out of this you know what I'm saying? Get out of this motherfucker and go do something with yourself. So it's just like my head. There was a long time where I never thought that anyone would even buy a record of mine or spin a record of mine. I was literally purely doing it because I love to rap. You know what I mean? It was just my love was to rap, to create bars and to spit bars. But when I make an album like this is R&B. This comes from people doing like you're doing, catching me singing off guard or catching me singing on a hook for someone else or something. Even though I'm making rap, all my music up to this point has been rap. I like to sing my own hooks occasionally, but I cannot get away from the hip hop. And I want people to understand that about this album. This album is going to drop. Y'all going to hear all these beautiful grown folk baby making music.
Yeah.
All this album is beautiful. I mean, this shit's beautiful. Next album that drops after this, it's a mixtape really. Mm-hmm. Right back to the lyrics.
So
back to it. I got features from Universe the King. STS. I got Scotty ATL on the next project. it's.
So what if this album blows, and this is what people want from you? Would you go with the format, or would you make them push your rap as well?
I'm gonna say that if I had my choice, and also I dare say that it's hard to make decisions when you haven't hit a bridge like that. So I don't want to throw myself under the bus with this answer. But I also want to say that if Tory Lanez can do it, I can fucking do it. If Drake can do it, I can fucking do it. Yeah. There's no reason why I can't multitask both of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a singer. I'm also a lyricist. If those two things can coexist, I know multiple artists that do that already. If I put out an album, you know what I'm saying? If this blows up and the next album Sony calls me and goes, "We need you down here right now. We need 6 more of these R&B albums stat, and don't you dare make another hip hop song." Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be tempted to tell them to go fuck themselves, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we know the musical climate. We know for a fact that you can go places and do things independently these days. People are not relying on 360 deals.
Right now, we're on a podcast. You rap, but we still got jobs. So if I'm doing I could do a podcast or a show, even though I might hate the topics, still better than clocking a job.
Amen.
So
Amen.
I mean, I wouldn't.
It's a tough decision to make, and I dare say that I don't think that. I would hope that there would be a situation in which that would be that black and white. Yeah. You know what I mean? For me to have to literally decide, do I want to sing or do I want to rap?
It's not usually that black and white. Usually, I think it's a lot the artists have to do it. So, yeah. But like to give examples, like Akinelli, he was like a real Queens rapper, but he had Put It in Your Mouth. I don't even know if you know who Akinelli is.
No, I know. Yeah, and I haven't heard much of his music, but I definitely know the name.
But he has a song, Put It in Your Mouth.
Okay.
It's a very obscene song, and it blew up. Mm-hmm. And from there, he was almost like a New York version of Luke, Uncle Luke.
Right.
Luke,
so he changed his whole genre because he caught a hit.
Or Sir
just a vibe necessarily.
Yeah, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sir Mix-a-Lot was a Seattle rapper.
Right.
Like these people, like hip hop, like Akinelli ran in the same. Akinelli was one of the early people that ushered Nas in.
Oh, wow.
Let you know. Nas, Nori, very instrumental in both of those their early career.
Okay.
Ran in the same circles with Jay-Z. He was, but he called a lick with the Put It in Your Mouth, and they, and people kind of chased it. They, you know what I mean? So people kind of, when you do so much, but you never know what's going to catch.
Yeah.
And then people, especially if like how like most people were saying what you're saying, done so much hip hop story, and if your first time doing hip hop, that take off, most people will be chasing that their entire career.
Yeah.
They won't have the fortitude to be like, nah, that's not who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, they may not have that option.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And some people don't know who they are.
Right.
Well,
I'm fairly confident with my understanding of both sides of the coin as far as my performance is concerned. I'm somebody who takes great pride in going on stage and performing without performance tracks. When I go up there, I'm actually spitting my bars, and then I flip and I actually sing my hooks out loud in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To me, there is no better feeling than knowing your worth and sticking to something because you know that you're good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to run out tomorrow and make a full-blown country album if somebody told me to, because I don't like country. I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying? No hating to anybody who loves country. I got some friends that love country to death. It's whatever. But if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, we're going to commission you to do a country album," I don't think that I have a yes in me. I would probably write it maybe and sell it to somebody. But as far as doing it as an album, for me, I don't deserve to do that, because if I put out a project, I want it to be blatantly obvious that the passion is in there. You know what I'm saying? I want you to understand that I believed in what the fuck I'm saying in this album. Okay. Up to this point, all my music has been like that. Everything that I put out to this point, like that's one main critique from people that hear my things, is that they're like, we admire your passion, we hear you really in the song. You know what I'm saying? You're not bored. You're not doing shit because you ain't got nothing better to do. Like you really, you know what I'm saying? So if someone comes to me and goes, this music that you're putting out, you say you were a rapper this whole time, and now you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna sing now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't. I mean, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm aware. I got my ears to the street sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I heard the whole Post Malone thing when it happened. He made a series of statements about how if you want to really feel something, you need to listen to something other than hip hop. Hip hop's not going to make you. You remember? You remember those statements? There was a series of real controversial tweets and statements he was making for a while that led people to believe that the only reason this man is doing anything that's hip hop related is because people is paying him. Yeah. As soon as he goes home, he puts on Bob Dylan and starts, drinking bourbon and don't give a fuck about. That's not me. When I go home right now, Royce the 5'9" on the top of my playlist. Black Thought's at the top of my playlist. You know what I'm saying? Like, for fuck's sake. I mean, that's going back. Rakim the shit. You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. I'm talking about modern shit. I got Vic Mensa on my playlist. I got Jiggy Jid on my playlist. You know what I'm saying? Cole, the Earth Gang. I got real hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the little babies, you know what I'm saying, of the world. But trap, you know what I mean? Trap is a genre that has taken over the market, and people are getting money that nobody thought could get money before. And that's why I got to salute all these trap artists that are out here putting down music. That's their version of their reality. That's what they're doing. As long as you're passionate about it, you get that same satisfaction that I get when I drop some shit like this.
Yeah. So speaking of this, can we preview some of
I'm with it. We can play
the
whatever.
music? Let's hear
let me throw one on for you.
Let's hear what a dirty fucking.
This is a dirty fucking R&B song.
You know.
Hey. Yeah, I gotta shout out my boy Breeze Davis. I gotta shout out my boy Mark Amaboya. Mixed
Don't shout
everything.
him out while you're playing the music.
Yeah, I will. I'll get him afterwards.
Oh no, I don't want you to go. Oh no, I don't want you to leave. But you just want all the smoke. Yeah. And I want a legacy. And I don't know why you lie to yourself when it's easier to tell the truth. It was never meant for me and you. And now there's nothing you can do. 'Cause I got these pictures in my phone. Please leave me alone. My eyes won't close. I've been here for so long. My pillowcase still smells like you.
Grown folk music.
I just wanna go to sleep, the only thing I need. But even if I did, you'd probably be in my dreams. 'Cause my pillowcase still smells like you.
Wait.
You got a pretty little face and a fat ass, but you keep your attitude in your handbag. You just keep running away. You just keep running away. Yeah, cool summer breeze through my window makes me wonder if you ever really meant those things you kept saying to me. All the things you kept saying to me. And I don't know why you lie to yourself when it's easier to tell the truth. It was never meant for me and you. And now there's nothing you can do. 'Cause I got these pictures in my phone. Please leave me alone. My eyes won't close. I've been here for so long. 'Cause my pillowcase still smells like you. I just wanna go to sleep, the only thing I need. But even if I did, you'd probably be in my dreams. 'Cause my pillowcase still smells like you.
That's it.
Oh, wow. And I know you'll be just fine on your own. Yeah. But I really miss you. Won't you please come back home? 'Cause I got these bitches in my phone, but I don't want to talk to them, no.
That's basically it. Some little slight work, you know what I'm saying? Something slight, a little something for you.
So why does it got to be bitches?
Because it creates a distinction between them and the person that the song is about.
Okay.
I didn't say, because the song is I don't want you to go, I don't want you to leave. It's obviously written in first person, like I'm talking to the female.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling her, look, I don't know why you keep lying to yourself when it's easier to tell the truth. It's never meant for me and you, and there's nothing you can do because now I got these bitches in my phone, so please leave me alone. Mm-hmm. The first verse is that push. Get away from me. I don't fuck with you. Mm-hmm. I got these bitches over here.
Yeah.
And as the second verse comes around, I wonder if you really meant those things you said to me, and I don't know why you keep lying to yourself, and he challenges the whole paradigm, the speaker, me, I guess, in the song.
Yeah.
By the second verse, and that second chorus comes back around, now the context is different. There's nothing you can do. I got these bitches in my phone. Please leave me alone. Now I'm talking to the hoes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The hook is written generally enough that as the mood shifts in the song, the hook takes on new meaning. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm talking to the bitches, like, please leave me alone. My eyes won't close. I've been here for so long. My pillowcase smells like you. You know what I mean? Like I'm back to
Because I mean, firstly, I didn't, just the first time hearing that, I didn't get all the layers.
Yeah.
But singing wise, skills there. Some definitely hit the notes. But I feel like almost because of the bitches and because of some of the lines, I would just say be careful because it could be taken. With today's, it's so hard to tell what the difference is, actual music and a parody of music. Because you are a rapper,
okay.
I would just say be careful. But I mean, not because of the skill wise,
right.
but
the content.
That content could be, if you turned it up a little bit, you could have that same song. Because I remember, and I know you know Fonte just because of talking to you. Fonte he had a character called Percy Miracles that he used to do, because Fonte sings.
He's nice too.
Yeah. So he used to do his singing under Percy Miracles, and he used to do parody songs. He retired Percy Miracles when R. Kelly started doing the In the Closet. He was like, if this dude is dropping this kind of music as real songs and y'all taking it serious, where's the line? Where's the line?
Why was I doing a character this whole time if I could have been really putting out the music?
Yeah, or no, he's putting it out as comedy, but
right.
It's almost like Dave Chappelle stopped. It's like, are you laughing with me or how are you laughing? So I just say as dope song, but I'm just saying.
Oh no!
When the bitches part came in, I'm like, and I'm an old, I'm an old black man, so in hip hop I'm old, but it's not as bad anymore.
Yeah.
Hip hop is finally kind of growing up.
Yeah.
But still older in hip hop. When that part came on, that almost kind of, I was back, especially in R&B, because that's not, that's typically, there are segments of that, I don't know.
Well, I wanna preface the album by saying that, first of all, I like that commentary because I understand, like, there's definitely throughout this whole album, the lines are blurred between reality and fiction sometimes, because this album is a personal representation of like some growth that I've went through in the past couple years. You know what I'm saying? Experiences with females, experiences with non-romantic relationships. I mean, just in general. So this album, like, it's a lot of twisted, odd concepts. I have to give you that, because I've gotten to the point now in my writing where if something tumbles out, I don't question it a lot of times. You know what I mean? That song was one of those that just really came out like that, and I felt like in that specific dynamic, it was important for people to understand, even though I'm going to have to make a radio clean version of that if I want to play it anywhere. You know what I mean? I got to change it to, I got these pictures in my phone, or I got something in my, you know what I'm saying? Which would work, you know what I mean? But in that specific instance, this song really is about somebody, and it's really to somebody, and I thought it was important
I think we talked about that.
Them to know that you and these bitches is not the same thing, you know what I mean? And that's not any disrespect to the people that I'm calling bitches, because I'm not calling no names, but I just felt like it was really important in that particular situation. You got a dynamic like that, like, I don't want you to go, I don't want you to leave, but you just want all the smoke, and I want a legacy. Like, I'm trying to create something, you're not with it, you want to be petty, bro, I can be just as petty as you. I got these bitches over here waiting on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So what's the name of the album?
Call Me When You Get This.
Okay. Sounds kind of Drake-ish.
A little bit. It's less Drake-ish and more grandmotherly. I know that's a weird term, but I'm a really, like, especially in like a relationship dynamic, like, I'm always that dude. Like, I'll blow your phone up. Like, you good? You straight? Call me when you get this, until I hear something. You know what I'm saying? I can't be good until I know you good. That's the way I am. And so, incidentally, the cover that my boy put together, which I'm gonna actually unveil in the next couple of days.
Matter of fact, we'll probably have it at the end of this podcast.
I hope
if you
so.
send me the artwork, I'll put it. So stay tuned in the credits.
Right, but it's me standing outside, and I'm on the phone. I'm kind of, it's like a little party type deal going on in a little building where I'm at, and I'm standing outside on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So it's that kind of vibe. The album definitely takes an arc. I wrote songs about specific things for a gradually overarching thing. I wanted it to start out kind of pleasant, like you're in a good place in your relationship, and things start to get rocky, and so it's not necessarily a breakup album, but it has a breakup and a resolve, if that makes any sense. So it sort of takes you on this little journey, up and down. But I think it's really important for me and the people that listen to me to hear this, because I just want everybody to understand how many different sides there are to the world. You know what I mean? And I understand, like, in light of the whole hip hop conversation, I encourage people to listen to all kinds of music. I'm not trying to sound like Post Malone, but hip hop has been my backbone. You know what I'm saying, for the past 10 years. But I'm not gonna front like I listen to so much different shit. There's so much different shit to be found. I encourage people, regardless of what genre you're into, find something you may not like and go crazy. Go find something to listen to.
So where can people find your album? When and where? We know what. Now we know what the album is. Yeah. When and where can they get it?
It's dropping September 14.
So that's definite now?
As long as I'm not delayed. That's what I'm shooting for. That's what I've been telling everybody. That's what I got my clock set to. Everything that I've lined up so far to this point has been pretty solid. Nothing's fallen through yet as far as that date. So September 14 is what I'm shooting for 100%. If something changes, obviously I'll do my best to keep everybody informed with that. But as far as the production is concerned, basically everything is done. I've got 2 more songs that have tweaks to be done. And the album's basically over with. I mean, it's pretty much all a wrap already. I got to go down to Atlanta and do a final mix master session, you know what I'm saying, to get everything just tweaked perfectly. Once again, shout out Mike IMoLT. You guys hit him up on Instagram, Mike.Boya. Phenomenal mixer. Shout out my boy Lil Ed, too. He masters it for me, and all that's in the works. So September 14, if you can please go follow my YouTube pages. You can keep up with that. There will be an official visual dropping with the album when it drops. I've been really hard at work putting together this whole package so that when the music hits the market, there's going to be a fresh visual that hits YouTube, hopefully, right? As within that, a week's time frame, everything should happen pretty much together. It's been exhausting, not to be honest with you, like this whole release thing, like putting everything. And I've had a lot of help from Miss Coley, Stay Rooted Music Group. My boy Breeze, of course, has been instrumental in the whole thing. I've surrounded myself with some talented people, and I can see the results now. You know what I mean? I can see the people working together, and everything's coming. So September 14, tune in to my Instagram, my Facebook, DirtyWhite. That's all. I mean, you can literally Google me. You can Google DirtyWhite, and it'll take you to everything. You can follow me on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, whatever. Any given platform that you go and follow me, it will notify you. Yeah. So-and-so dropped a new album, and then you'll have it. You know what I mean? So it's pretty simple. Yeah.
Okay. So we just shout out your crew. Any other shout outs or anything?
I want to shout out you. First of all, I appreciate you having me on the show. This has been dope. I appreciate the experience, man. I need to do this a lot more. I needed to do this for myself, but also to increase my whole. This is a new dynamic for me. You know what I mean? I can go in a booth and spit, go in a booth and sing, go in a booth and whatever. But being here on camera, being live in front of an audience and interacting with a host, this is something that I'm having a great time doing right now because I'm in the sauce with it. I've never really had the chance to do much of this type, you know what I'm saying? So it's really been a blast, man. I appreciate that. So shout out to you, first of all. But yeah, I already threw a bunch of names out there, man. My crew, you know what I'm saying? People that back me up, my boy TVM, you know what I'm saying? My boy Young Will, DJ Young Will. There's a lot of different names, but they've all helped me with the creation of this. And I just feel really honored that people have come behind me as they have, you know what I mean? Because there was a time where I was doing literally everything by hand, myself, for myself, and I'm just so blessed to have people around me now that can help me pick up those pieces.
It's good to have a team,
Hell yes. All
right. So you can, and all these Dirty F White fans, y'all can follow me on IMoLT Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe. Follow his page, follow my page.
Well, your links, so these links are going to be all up everywhere, trust me. So you cross-pollination.
Hit subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, IMoLT Podcast on Instagram, Inquisitive Louis Tee on Facebook. And so if you want a spotlight on you, or if you want to be a sponsor, you can email me, mindoflouist@gmail.com. Thank y'all for tuning in. And
much love.
Thank you.